was a 21-year-old university student when I was raped. And, you know, the best way that I can describe that rape is it really felt like a death. And not just for me, but I think for my family and my friends as well. She's absolutely not my rapist child. She is my child. I became someone unrecognizable to myself. I went from being a really happy, optimistic, energetic human being to being a shell of myself. Someone who was constantly afraid and scared, and I just remember it being a real battle, just even, you know, getting up every day, let alone going to class. Just existing seemed really difficult. For me, evenings were the worst immediately after my rape, because those were the times when I couldn't be around people, you know, because everyone would be sleeping. And I remember in those times, and it's strange what you remember, I would sometimes go into the bathroom and I would lay on the cold floor of the bathroom because for some reason being there on the cold floor would remind me that I was alive. Not too many weeks after my rape, I ended up finding out from my doctor that I was pregnant. I remember in that moment being really shocked, really surprised, you know, wondering how I would be able to handle this. I was 21, felt very young. I remember the woman who was in the room with me performing the sonogram, she checked, and what she was looking for looked fine. But as she was kind of scanning over me, she said, "Oh my gosh, do you know that you're pregnant?" And I told her, "Yeah, I know that I'm pregnant." And she said, well, look here, you can see the image." And at that point in time, the image was almost next to nothing. It just couldn't look like a mass on a screen, except that I noticed that it was vibrating very, very quickly. And I asked her, is everything okay? And she said, yeah. In fact, it's really kind of fun at this age because the baby is so incredibly tiny that every single time its heart beats, it vibrates its entire body. And she said, here, let me have you listen. And she flipped a switch, and I just heard ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. And it was just really, really, really a touching moment. And I remember saying to her, that baby is all heart. And it was amazing to me that this body that otherwise just felt so dead was somehow fostering and growing life. It became a sort of a hope for me, a little bit of a light, maybe something to look forward to in what was otherwise looking to be a really kind of miserable future. I felt like we were kind of survivors together from this horrible experience. And so I made the decision to not only give birth to, but also to raise my child. So in October, I gave birth to a beautiful little girl. It was always my favorite time of the year because of that. She learned a couple of years back, when she found out where babies came from, she had a really important question for me. And that was, Mom, you know, you've kind of told me all my life that the reason why I don't and haven't ever met my father is because he hurt you. And so if he hurt you, my question for you is, you know, why did you do that with him such that I could be born? Really powerful question. And so I had to tell her, you know, baby, when I told you that he hurt me, what I meant is that he hurt me because he forced me. And she just started bawling, crying. And she said, Mom, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but at least you have me. You see, my little girl was crying because of what happened to me. She wasn't crying about anything that said about her or her value. In fact, my daughter kind of loves her conception story, not because of what happened to her mom. You know, that's always difficult. but because she likes to hear about this little person, her, that came into this world that brought so much light to me and to my parents and to my friends, and just really helped to heal us all.